Excuse me, class. Class.
Well, guys, episode 7 is going to kind of pick up where episode 6 left off. We have a winter storm still upon us. This snow's getting deeper and deeper. It's getting harder and harder to get up and down even with chains on. I made the mistake of letting my boys invite a friend over to stay the night last night. Now we don't know when he's going to go home. I may take him home later today. We're going to have to put all 4 chains on the car. And if I go down, I'm going to go to town and get some stuff we need. If not, it'll be tomorrow. And there'll be a lot more snow tomorrow, between now and tomorrow. But I have stuff I have got to get done. But anyhow, they're calling this Winter Storm Ryan. Now, can any of you please explain when we started naming winter storms? I'm not from the north, so it just doesn't even make sense to me, you know. I guess pretty soon we're gonna have, you know, summer breeze Sarah's blowing through today. Part of it, I think, is just for drama. You know, we got to have the drama on the news. That's what draws attention and gets us our ratings. But anyhow, and the snow is just not quitting. It's just not quitting. And I'm starting to run out of firewood, which, like, just a month ago I thought we got more than enough firewood. We're gonna have firewood left over. I probably have 2 days of firewood maybe left, and I'm not getting a truckload all the way up my driveway, especially a whole cord. But there are some trees around here. I do have some red fir over here I was gonna cut into boards. There are a lot of knots in it though, so that might actually be a really good one to cut up, and that would give me another few days. You can see where I've been driving. Actually, I don't know if you can see, but these are the tracks I've been driving in, and it's probably 8 inches deep where my tracks are, and below where the tracks, where I'm walking up on the tracks right now, and it is probably, well, there's 2-3 inches of stuff before you get down to the ice, and I can't get through with my boot through the ice. It's dark, it's dirty ice, but that's all still ice right there. So I just dug with my heel probably 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, and it's still ice. And that, when you pack this down with tires and you're going downhill or uphill, it really makes it slick. So it's beautiful, but can be dangerous. But I mean, just look at all that. That's gorgeous. So anyhow, just wanted to welcome you to episode 7. This week we've got a lot of walnuts, pecans, hazelnuts, acorns. What else was there? Walnuts, pecans, hazelnuts, acorns. Oh, I think I have a few Brazil nuts. And that might be all. I'll have to check. But we're going to plant those out. All together we probably have 500 or 600, and we would love to get even half of those to germinate and grow into full productive trees over the next 5 to 10 years. And if I can get that going this year, guess what? Next year, if these seeds sprout and really start going, next year we'll do. This is a practice year just to see how much germination we're going to get out of it, see if it's worth it. But yeah, next year I'll do a couple thousand. We're going to do some of that. I got a lot more work in the basement, and I may be getting some firewood. I really need to get some firewood. We have a couple of dead standing trees. I think that one right behind me is a red fir. It's a little dangerous falling trees whenever you got 10-12 inches of snow on a steep hill. It gets slick, but I may be cutting that tree down and bucking it up and bringing what I can up here. If I don't do that, then I got to get that it's either 12 or 16 foot log over here. I was gonna work with my chainsaw mill. I'm gonna have to take that and work with it. So anyhow, guys, welcome to episode 7. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Well, my oldest son doesn't have to do the feeding this morning. He is gone skiing with a friend. Come on, sheepies. Come on. Come on, sheepies. Come on. It's very interesting with these sheep. I've noticed, you know, in the scriptures it talks about how the sheep know the voice of their shepherd. And the reality is just amazing. My son spends far more time with the animals than I do. He doesn't have a day job right now like I do. And my day job is very forgiving and very lenient, but I still have to get it done. And lately we've been trying to get a lot of stuff done, getting ready for a big conference coming up, which is why I haven't been able to get my episodes out as regularly as I'd like. I was sick for a couple of weeks, and then I just got super busy, and I just been trying to stay steady, you know, get something done every day. Whoops. But anyhow, back to what I was saying. The sheep won't follow me. They know their shepherd. They know Caleb's voice. I can whistle kind of like he does, and I can try to say the same words he does, but they're not following me. If he was out here and he just said, "Come on, sheep," they'd be right behind him and they'd follow him all the way down. I see it happen every day. I've come out many times and called for the sheep, and they'll just kind of look at me and be like, "What's up?" And then they don't come, but he'll step right out 10 seconds later and call them, and they come running. So it really brings, when you get to live on the land, you know, you start harvesting, you know, crops and saving your seed and making sure your seed is doing what it needs to do. Make sure it dies, you know, so that when you plant it, it can grow. Make it, you know, when you start raising sheep and you call them and they come, you know, they know the voice of their shepherd. And it's just one of those things that we lose in our modern day culture, especially in these United States of America that we live in. You know, we have this understanding that farmers are poor people. Have you tried to farm recently? You got to be a millionaire to really do it right now. It ain't poor people. Somehow people got tricked a long time ago into selling their poor farm lifestyle so they could go sit behind a cubicle all day and be told when to be there and when they can leave and what they have to do day in and day out. And yet we still believe that the freedom of living on a farm, though you're cash poor often, there are very wealthy farmers, ranchers, and then there are very wealthy ones that don't have the money to go out and buy a brand new truck every 6 months, but they don't want for anything, they don't have debt, and if they need the money, guess what, they can get the money. So anyhow, right now I'm here to feed the chickens. Alright, well, I got the last bit of that bell that was in there. I'm gonna take that up and feed it to the sheep. And come on, baby, come on, girl. Oh, she's licking on some salt. All right, It sure is pretty. It's been snowing all morning. I'm trying to grab a hold of my tripod. Back up the hill. Come on, girls. Come on, sheep. They just don't listen to me. It is pretty. Come on, sheep. Come on. Oh, she's following me. All right. Here she comes. I think she smells that hay. Hard finding any grass when it's covered in white, isn't it, sweetie? Oh yeah, I think she's good and pregnant. We were gonna take all our sheep this last week and have them sheared. And our driveway was a little bad, and they're pregnant. And it was cold, we got down to like 13. But we didn't have a lot of snow. Just a couple spots on our drive. And I decided to wait. I got to drive an hour and a half to this guy who everybody recommends. But I may, but perhaps I shouldn't have waited. Perhaps I should have taken them when I had the chance, because they're saying we're supposed to get snow like this every day this week, I think. Last I looked. Nice, long, prolonged winter storm. Ooh, I'm tired. Come on, girl. Come on, sheep. Come on, sheep. There you are. Come on. I got hay. Come on. Come on. Come on, girl. You're doing good. Well, this one will follow me. Of course, she's not with her other three friends. They're all up here. Caesar and his three sister wives. I don't even see Caesar. Hey, girls. Come on. We do have a feeder built, but I don't feel like walking up the hill to get to it. And there's another feeder down by the barn, but only one of them is down there. And look at that boy. Come on, Caesar. All right. This is something I've been wanting to do for it's mid-February right now, so I wanted to do it in December, January. But we have here, one of them actually broke. We had a walnut. It just broke open. I don't know that is going to grow with it cut open like that, but it still looks like a good walnut, other than it's broken. So I don't know if they're going to grow if it'll grow like that. I guess we can see. Shouldn't hurt anything to put it in there. But we have walnut here. Here's some others that I had collected. Whoops. There's some other ones. And these, I believe, are black walnut. We also have two different varieties of, well, I can't get them out right now, but we have two different varieties of oak. I would love to get some oak trees going. A, the wood is incredible. B, this provides excellent forage for turkeys and deer. I believe elk love them, but we just don't have a lot of them up here. It's not a native to this area, and as you can see, I have quite a few walnuts and oak acorns that I've collected. And some of the acorns, I have a couple of them, if you can see in here. They came from a different tree. I believe these are white oak and these were red oak, but I don't remember that for sure. I've read that a lot of nuts need to stratify, I believe is the term, in which they have a very cold spell for at least 30 days, and then they can begin to spring up. We have almonds in the shell, about a pound. I'm not really sure how many that is right there. Maybe I'll count them out. I got about a pound of hazelnuts and a pound, actually that might be a little over a pound, of walnuts. And these walnuts I believe are white English, or I think that's what they call them, Carpathian. We also have a few, well, let me open the bag. We have, as well with these walnuts, we have a few, now don't know how good they are, but we have a few of these pecans. And growing up in the South, we had wonderful pecans, really big ones. They were fat, thin-shelled, thick, rich, sweet flesh. We'll see how these do. And though I don't think they're going to grow here, I thought it would be fun to at least try. I got, and I really don't think they're going to grow here, but you never know. I got some Brazil nuts, and I only got a few of these. So I am going to get these planted out. And the way I'm going to do it, I thought about getting individual planters, putting one in each one with soil. And I thought, you know what, I don't know how many of these are going to come up, how long it'll take for them to come up. I don't know anything about any of it. I've never done this, but if I can get this going, I'm going to have some trees. It's a great way to start a nursery. It's inexpensive. I think I paid, for these 3 bags I paid less than $10 for it, and this was free, just picking them up off the ground wherever I found them. And we have quite a few of them in town. And somewhere, I gotta find it, this last fall I collected a lot of the seed from maple trees, a couple different types of maple trees. So anyhow, we are going to get some trays, different tray, a different tray for each variety. We're gonna just lay some soil down. I may go down to the barn and get some of that aged chicken manure. I don't know that for how much I'll get, but I'll put some of that in there. I may get some of the, we also have sphagnum peat moss. Get some of that in there, and it'll help absorb and hold the water. And we're just going to take a tray, and we're going to, and we might end up with 2 trays for some of these, like the walnuts and the others, or the almonds here. There's quite a few of them, and a lot of these here. So anyhow, we're going to lay them out, cover them up, make sure they're good and wet. And I have it used to be a pen. We kind of have used it as a garden shelf outside just to keep some tools on in the garden area. We're just going to set them up high so animals won't get into them, hopefully, and just wait and see this spring how many of them start sprouting. And as they begin to sprout, we'll take them and transplant each one into its own pot. And who knows, by fall or next year we could have potentially, I guess, a couple of hundred nut trees growing, which would be amazing to have a lot of nut trees growing. What we can do here is for $10 we can get potentially 200 plus trees that would have cost us at a nursery anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, as long as you have the patience to wait. And guess what? I don't have $10,000 to go buy 3-year-old trees or 2-year-old trees. What I do have is $10 in nuts that I've purchased. I have a jar of nuts that I found for free, and I have a $5 bag of potting soil and some manure and stuff out here. So for less than $20, I have the potential to have over 200 nut trees. That's very exciting to me to be able to do something like that. And as a homesteader, this is how you go about doing things. I suppose there are the homesteaders who have had, you know, a very lucrative six-figure job for the last 10 years, knowing they wanted to retire at age 40 and start homesteading on a piece of property that they paid for. That's awesome. If you can do it, that's the way to do it. Put back 7 figures and begin homesteading and learning how to live frugally off the land with that money in the background that you can live off of. And it does make your life a lot easier. I'm sure it does. But I don't have that. What I do have is a piece of land that I'm able to do some work on. And I'm trying to really take advantage of what I can do on this land. Planting nuts is something I can do. Alright, what we have here, the bag's upside down, but it's poultry manure. I actually have my own. Not really sure why we have this or who bought it. I have a couple of truckloads of it down at the barn that is composted. It's ready for going in the garden. But we're going to put some of that with steer manure. I knew we had this bag. I thought this one was potting soil, but it is not potting soil, but it should still work. I can't imagine why it won't. So we're gonna take these trays here and we're going to put in some mixed poultry and steer manure, dump a bag of a variety out on a bed of it, and then cover them up. Try to get at least a couple of inches in there, below and on top of it, and then put them out on the shelf. As you can see, these aren't just flat trays. These I guess held the little individual deals, planters. We got those for free from a nursery at the end of the year last year. Probably put the pointy end down, so that's what I'm going to do. Try to stand them all up, pointy end down. That's almost 80 right there. Wow. Almost 80. If I got room, I'll put these in on another one. almond. Alright, and that is hazelnut. Well, I did not realize until I was done with all this that my battery died, so I'm not really sure what point y'all got to, but I have 4 trays here. One is all almonds, 1 hazelnut, 1 walnut. I have one that has my acorns for my oak trees. Then it's got pecans. Then it's got my Brazil nuts, and there was enough room on the edge. I went ahead and just stuck a couple of extra almonds in there. And again, I don't know if it was recording or not, but I found this bucket. These were walnuts I found last year off a property we were leasing for cattle, and they still feel really good. They feel solid. They don't feel hollow, and they're not cracking open or anything. So this manure is soaked. In fact, my table is soaked. I'm going to have to get all this outside and clean up in here. And so I'm going to get all these shelves outside where they should remain getting water. We've been getting a lot of rain and snow and rain and snow. It's back and forth. That's the winter here in the valley. Up top, I think they got, my friend called yesterday, so they got 20 inches this week, where we had 3 inches earlier in the week, and then just a ton of rain. And he said the snow drifts are above his truck on the road, so it's up there. But we're going to get these outside, up away from where the animals should be able to get in and mess with them. They are kind of labeled. I can't find, my Sharpie is dry. My kids got a hold of it, pulled the cap off, and left it that way, and it's ruined. But I took some cedar pieces here, some shims that I had made, and I took a nail and just etched in there what it was. So hopefully I'll still be able to read that. And we're going to come back and we're going to look at these. I'm going to really start paying attention probably around April or May. See if any of them are starting to sprout, and as I see sprouts come up, I'll just reach in and pull out that whole clump and transplant it into its own pot. And we may give them all the way till, I don't know, July. You know, try to remember to keep them wet, keep them going, and try to get as many as we can. And you know, this is a good business to start, not just for your own. You know, a nut farm is a great business. It's long term, something you pass on to, you know, multiple generations. And the wood is highly valuable. The nuts are highly valuable. most of the pieces, parts, you know, the leaves that fall off of it. Guess what? That's great compost for garden. Everything about a nut tree is good. Then the flip side, or maybe not a flip side, an extra business that you can do that's very quick to start and very inexpensive when you're buying it. I mean, I think I paid $3.99 a pound, and I think I planted out between 50 and 120 of every kind of tree here. And I found a bunch of the acorns and stuff. So for $100, $150 and some potting soil, you could start several thousand trees that, as small trees, they sell for $3 or $4 a piece. A lot of people don't have the patience to even start a small tree, and you let them grow for 2 or 3 years, and you know, first year you do, you know, $100, $200 worth of nuts, plant them all out, you got several thousand of them. You do the work, you're transplanting them, you're getting them good soil, and you're keeping them into pots that'll let the roots expand. And at a year and a half, you know, at a year or 2 years of age, those are now $20 and $30 trees. And you could sell them for cheap at $10 a piece and sell all of them. And you'd have several thousand of them to sell. That's a great part-time business. And yes, there's a lot of work. And when I say part-time, you know, in the winter, there's not usually as much to do. So you have a few months of downtime. Maybe you're planting your new batch of nuts that you just bought. But it is not something that's going to take you, you know, all winter to plant a few thousand of them. Like I said, I planted out here probably close to 250, 300 in less than 45 minutes. And a lot of that time is just getting all my stuff together, getting my manure in here. These aren't even the right trays that I wanted. Only 2 of them were the ones I wanted. The rest of them I think we put all in storage. So I have 2 just flat bottom trays, and then I have 2 trays that were designed to hold those 4-inch pots from a nursery. So I'm going to set these out. Alright, we have these outside. I'm trying not to get my camera all wet. These 4 trays will sit here for the next several months. Hopefully we'll start seeing some sprouts here in a couple of months. Well, it is Wednesday, February the 27th. We got snow yet again, and I think the forecast has gone from showing some clear skies to now we got another like 4 days, and the temperatures are dropping. By this weekend we're going to be down to like, oh, I've seen some saying down to 2, and some are saying 13 degrees is our low. But I'm running out of firewood, so I got a red fir log over here. It's not huge, but it should supply us another week or so, maybe, of firewood. And then I got another big one over there. I was going to cut these up into some timbers or boards, but it's time for us to cut it up into firewood. It's good and dry wood. It's very dry wood. Good wood for that. But there it is, buried. Look at all this snow. And that's like a 12 or so inch log. This is yeah, there's Caleb walking through it, and there's our mini log yard right now. So it just stopped snowing about 20-30 minutes ago, and we're expecting some more to hit in the next hour. So I thought right now would be a good time to come out, cut up at least one log, get it split, and get it up to the house. I'd love to be able to bring my truck down here, but I'm sliding all over the place. And I mean, you can see my feet, and they're not hitting the ground. You know, I'm still on top of more snow underneath. So it's a good, it's packed down and settled to a good foot deep right now up in here. The bad part with all this snow is the temperatures are just above freezing. But it's just above freezing enough to where it's not actually melting it away. It's just melting it so that it compacts into a very slick surface. So gonna have to go and get that cleaned up. All right. this out. Now the fire killed off a lot of our trees, some of our trees. But the 3 years since, we've had a lot of die off, and there's why. That is a worm for a beetle, a pine beetle. Look at that ugly thing. That's nasty. Yeah. I think we're gonna let the chickens have it that. But those beetles, they're gonna be around a lot, even in healthy areas. But these damaged trees, when those beetles get in, they just wreak havoc and they'll wipe out an entire area. All right, back to splitting. Cutting firewood warms you up 3 times. Once when you harvest it, once when you split it, and then again when you burn it. So I'd say it's a pretty efficient way of heating up. Fellas, if your wife's anything like mine, she gets quite turned on watching me split this wood. 4 pieces. I love it when a plan comes together. Before I run out of them, I wanted to just show you, if you've never split firewood before, you may not know this. You have knots. It's where a branch came out of a tree. These will go all the way to the center of the tree. They don't go all the way through, but they go to the center. And knots have tighter grain usually than the trunk. And so I have a knot here, a very good size knot. I have another decent size knot here. From what I can tell, unless there's one hiding under the ice there, it's the only 2. What you don't want to do is bring your axe down and try to split it right over a knot. At best, if you do split it, what's going to happen is your axe is going to start coming through here, and it's going to hit this hard area where the knot is, and it's going to glance your axe one way or the other, which becomes dangerous. That's where the glances and the misses are what chop people's feet and toes and break legs and stuff like that. So you want to come through over here or both, and include this knot in a piece completely if it's possible. Now if I had a knot here and then I had another knot kind of right here, and then, you know what I mean, if there's just a ton of knots, you're just going to be fortunate if you can split it in half and try to use it that way. But usually you have room between your knots. See, I have one here and then one all the way over here. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to split it, try to split it right between the 2 of them here, and then probably come right here and split it across and try to miss both knots completely whenever I cut this. And hopefully I'm not glancing anything into my feet. Fun, huh? It's a good winter day.
Yeah, bring him up to me and I'll put him by the fireplace.
I know this isn't Caleb's favorite thing, but I will say this. He's a good boy. He works hard.
Where's JJ?
By the tent, the last site pinned off.
We've had a lot of snow here, and one of the things that my boys love to watch on YouTube is a guy called, his name is Matt. He has a channel called Demolition Ranch, and he shoots stuff all the time. He's from Texas, so we get to do something that he probably won't get to do. We're going to shoot at a bunch of snowmen. Now, my boys came out here, and you can pretend these are snowmen, but let's show you. We have somewhat lined up here. There's in one line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, with the back one being pretty big, and then there's a couple of big ones up there, a whole bunch of little ones. We got a lot of snowmen up in here, and so what we're going to do is we're going to shoot them with 22s, see how well they do. I've got a let's see, I got a 40 caliber pistol. and we have a 12 gauge shotgun we're going to try out. And we're going to have some fun. We're just going to shoot it and see what happens. All right. First shot is going to be through this line. I'm going to try to get as best as I can. Like I said, my boys made the lines here. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good here. So we're going to try to line up as many of these as we can with the 22 and punch a couple of shots through and see how they do. All right, this is actually one of my favorite guns that I own. It's light. It's a 22 caliber. So, you know, you get something in the head, you can kill it. And it's called a 22 Remington Nylon, I believe is what it's called. And it's a 22 long rifle. And it loads here in the butt. And I think you can put 12 or 13 rounds in it. And I am going to try to shoot straight through all these right here and see if they'll go all the way through. I have a feeling that they're going to go through. I have a feeling they'll go through. All right.
Plug the Caleb. So bad.
All right. We're going to do a second shot. Reload. Alright, so let's go see what it did. Oh, it's slippery up here. Alright, the first one I shot went right in there. I can't really tell how much you can see here. And it looks like the second one went right in here. So there's the first hole, there's the second hole. And they came out the back here, through here, through here. One glanced off and started going off to the side here and actually landed down in here. The first one, what?
It knocked off the whole back.
Did it? So it seems it went through, where did it go through on these?
I don't know. I see a hole through this one. I think I see a hole right here. Nope. I blocked him from right here.
There's the hole there. It's kind of hard because these aren't like a standard size or anything. But you can see down in here where it busted this loose. So
You know, it couldn't have hit that one, and it probably stopped.
let's try.
I want to shoot.
Let's try again. And this time we're just gonna see how well my boys aim.
I'm gonna shoot the big one.
Actually, I'm gonna do one with a shotgun real quick. I'm gonna pull out the 40 and just shoot a few of them with the 40. It's always fun. So the 22, the snow, it's wet snow, but it still really didn't seem to slow it down. It went all the way through until it hit the ground. Because this is at an angle going up, so it is a little hard to do it. All right, here I'm going to be shooting a Taurus 40 caliber, full metal jacket.
Abby, cover your ears. Whoa!
That was fun. I started off shooting at these. I really should have put hearing earplugs in. My left ear right now is ringing like crazy. You can see it just blasted a crater right through some of these. Knocked the top off completely on them. Put some nice little holes in there. There's a nice hole. I wonder if we can find the bullet.
Looks like it went through here, Daddy.
It's frozen solid.
Right here. You can see one shot right here. That's smooth.
Yeah, there's a bunch of holes here, huh? Coming in. Blew out the back right there.
That means it's in the ground somewhere.
I shot a bunch of these up here. Let's see. Shot it right here. Go straight in here.
Go straight out right here and right here and right there. Did you shoot it 8 times?
Yep, there's a hole there. There's a exit hole right there. Good size hole. One right there. Yeah, it's fun. We're gonna have to start shooting stuff more often. Now I'm using these here, the Remington Sure Shot, 3 1/4 inch. It's heavy dove shot. That's what we're using here. And I got 2 of these, and then I did get the Winchester 2 3/4 inch rifled slugs. So we'll try those out as well. First, we're going to do this one.
Okay. Back.
Whoa.
See what we can see. Let's see if we can't knock off some of the pine needles and dirt off the side there.
Whoa!
I'd say that'd kill a dove. Absolutely.
And look at that. Yeah, look at it. The top just fell down and stuck.
That's
I know it. That's pretty cool.
Can I shoot the 22 now?
Well, I'm going to shoot 1 slug. These things do tend to kick a little bit because it's just a big old slug coming out. For those of you who don't know what a slug is, these are rifled slugs because I have a shotgun smoothbore barrel. That is the slug right there. That's what we'll be shooting here. Will it come into focus? I can't tell. Everything's so bright with all of the snow out, I can't hardly see my lens here, so I'm just hoping. So now
I'm gonna shoot these.
Now we're going to shoot that one right there with a slug. See what it does.
Whoa! You can see that.
Found a wadding from a shotgun round. That
cool.
I don't know if that's the slug. This is the hole from the slug. You can see light all the way through. Let's see, can you see the light? There's the light all the way through. JJ, get back there, say hi.
Hello.
And that is a good size hole. You know, my fist can fit all the way into that.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a big hole going. That's the entry hole. The exit hole. Look at that. That thing is huge.
Look at my hand.
Yeah, my son's got his hand all the way through. So, oh, it just fell back.
That is terrible.
But that is the hole from a 12 gauge shotgun slug. I think it was 1.5 ounce. Let me see. Don't put your finger. Yeah. Let's see. 1 ounce slug. And it hits and makes that kind of a hole. That is crazy. Crazy. I was actually expecting the hole to be just a little bit bigger than the slug, but I mean, it really ripped it right through. Wow.
My face hurts.
All right, time for the boys to get to shoot up a bunch of little snowmen. This is our way of saying, go away, snow. We're getting tired of you. What's your goal?
My goal is to up there where you shot it with the dove shot. I'm gonna try to knock the head off it.
Okay. So you're gonna go like left to right and just try to knock it off, huh?
Yep.
Let's see if you're a good shot or not. All right, JJ, what are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna try to shoot all these little snowmen.
You're gonna just try to shoot all the little snowmen?
Yep.
All right, have at it. You gotta, yep. Well, that's fun. I missed one.
I think I found out where.
Well, that was fun. Well, this is me and my boys out having a good time. We love living out here. We really do. When you live in the middle of nowhere, you can do stuff like this. You ain't got neighbors calling the cops to come over and investigate. You get to live free, right? We got land. We want to shoot guns at snowmen and kill Frosty. We want Frosty gone. We're tired of Frosty. He has worn out his welcome. So today we decided we'd come out, shoot Frosty a couple times in the head, see what it does. Did y'all have a good time?
Yep.
Yeah?
Shooting guns is one of my favorite times.
Yeah, it's a good time. Hopefully this next year we're going to start doing a lot more with shooting. We'll have to see. I'd love to start learning how to make my own loads. Reloading pistol, rifle, shotgun shells. I've had some friends here, they used to load all kinds of shotgun shells and test them and see what, gravel and marbles and silly putty and all that. I'd love to be able to do some of that stuff and just test it for myself, see what it does. But as for now, we done shooting Frosty. He's gonna go bye-bye now. He is down for the count. So we have to get going. I gotta go to town. This Shabbat is just around the corner. This is the conclusion of episode 7. There's a couple things I probably didn't get into this episode. One of them's the mushrooms. Episode 8, I'm gonna give you an update on the mushrooms, show you how those are coming along. And yeah, I hope all you guys have a blessed week. Have yourselves a great day. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell to get all future content. Also, check us out over at Patreon. We could really use your help. Anybody who gives, we're trying to give back to the patrons. This isn't just give us money and that's it. We're trying to set up different tiers where you're getting seeds, you're getting dried elderberries. We're looking to be able to do all kinds of stuff. You get discounts on our website once it's up. You get discounts on the Cockadoodle-Doo Hatchery, which was just launched. Today is our first, we're sending out an email to a couple hundred people that we know right in the area, a couple of groups that we have here. And we're ready for spring to hit. We're ready for things to get going. So, guys, I'll see you again next week.